and we're on to our next lesson in math. Today you're not using your textbook. There's another thing we need to do with decimals that they don't have a lesson for in your book. So I'm adding this one in from the worksheets, from that other book that we keep pulling from. So you should find in your pack of worksheets a reteaching and a practice that say 4.1 up in the corner, okay? 4.1, and then down in the bottom it says reteaching and practice, and then lesson 4.1. And if you look at these sheets, you're going to see that the title is round decimals. We're going to be rounding decimal numbers. Yesterday, we did ones that we rounded to the nearest, or was that the day before? Recently, we rounded to the nearest whole number. But you also need to know just how to round decimal numbers, okay, to another decimal number, not just a whole number. So, grab your reteaching sheet. And the directions on the top of this are great because they're exactly how I always teach to do it, okay? If we have a number, let's say it is 3.649, okay? 3 and 649 thousandths. And let's say we are asked to round it to the nearest hundredths place. What I always say to do is underline where you're supposed, the place value that you're supposed to round it to. And I just said we need to do it to the nearest hundreds with a TH, hundreds place. So let's go to the hundreds place. That is right, I'm going to draw it right under the 4 here. The 4 is in the hundredths place. Okay, so we know that our rounded number should have 2 numbers after the decimal point, right? Okay, so the first part of the number is not going to change. The 3, the point, and the 6 are all going to stay the same. The number that's going to change is the one we underline. Because we want to go to the hundredths place, so we're going to look to the right of it. Is that number more than halfway? Is it 5 or greater, or is it less than? It's a 9, so it's obviously greater. So that's going to change the 4 into a 5. We're rounding up to a 5. So 3 and 649 thousandths rounds to 3 and 65 hundredths if we're rounding to the hundredths place. Okay? If I say it not correctly, 3.649, if we round to the hundredths place, rounds to 3.65. Okay? So that is how you round a decimal. If you look at their instructions on the reteaching 4.1, it says step 1, underline the digit in the place to which you want to round. That's what we did here. Compare the digit to the right of the underlined digit to 5. Round down if the digit at the right is less than 5, the underlined digit. Then the underlined digit stays the same. Round up if the digit to the right of is 5 or more, increase the underlined digit by 1. Okay? And then step 3, rewrite all digits to the right of the underlined digit as zeros. An equivalent decimal can be written by leaving off trailing zeros. Okay, so that last part, step 3, I'm not concerned about changing it to zeros. But that is how we're doing it if we're rounding up. Let me give you a problem if we're rounding down. I'm going to use that same number, but I'm going to put 641. Okay? If the number was 3 and 641 thousandths, and I need to round it to the hundredths place. Here's my hundredths right there at the 4. I look to the right. It's a 1. It's a little puny number. So what I do is I just leave it at 4. You don't go down or anything. You would just leave it off of 4 and just, there it's 3.64, 3 and 64 hundredths, and you're done. Okay, does that make sense? So you look to the right of your underlined one. If it's 5 or greater, you make your underlined one larger. If it's smaller than 5, you leave your underlined one just as it is. Okay? So you're going to round some numbers here to, it says to the, I'm looking at number 1 on the reteaching place. Round 4 and 1,872 10,000ths, it's 4.1872, to the place of the bold-faced digit, okay? And then I'm looking at how they're doing this. Well, you're gonna underline the bold-faced digit is the 1. So you're saying, is 1 less than 5 or greater than 5? So let me write this out because you're going to get confused as to what you're supposed to have here. Our number is, oops, not a 5. It's 4.1872. And underneath it, it says compare. And then it says line, circle, and 5. Okay, does that make sense? So we're underlining the bold-faced one is the 1. And we're looking to the right of it, and we're going to put that number in the space here, 8, because that's the one we're looking at. And you know what? We don't need to even pay any attention to all this down here, the extra that's hanging off. I'm just going to look to that 8. Is 8 greater than or less than 5? That's what we're filling in here. It is greater than 5. So we are going to, it gives us the word here, round. We are going to round up. So our final